Have you ever wanted a social service in Star Citizen? Maybe the ability to, I don't know, send friend requests to your friends while you're in the game. Possibly the chance to shoot a text DM easily to a group of friends. Actually, you can do that. Okay, how about the chance to call somebody through voice services? Huh? You want that? Well, too bad, because Spectrum's getting an update. Let's hear it. Air horns. I don't have air horns. You guys can't hear them. I'm sorry. The Spectrum redesign has started. Phase 1 is now live. Now, before we get into it, that was a little bit in jest. They're not the same teams. I do think that this probably is somewhat in line with the fact that they just need to step up all of their services to a bare minimum for general player base. So I think it's part of this movement to get social services updated, but this is not the update we're looking for. Either way, let's see what is going on with Spectrum. This update is introducing a cleaner, more modern experience designed to make Spectrum easier to navigate, easier to read, and better suited to the community it serves. Phase 1 lays the foundation, and this is only the beginning. We'll continue refining and expanding Spectrum in the updates ahead. Honestly, making it better suited for the community it serves, I think the best thing to do there would just be adding a downvote button, but who am I? You'll notice that Spectrum looks a little different today. Phase 1 refreshes the core experience with an updated layout, a redesigned sidebar for communities, bookmarks, and navigation, and updates to the Star Citizen community page. Look at that. The blue is different, and this blue is also different. And the bars are different. They don't go across all the way. Actually, I do like that. That is better. I've never been a big fan of the Spectrum layout as it is, but, you know, it's nice to see it modernizing. You got a new home for direct messages. You now have a dedicated panel accessible from the top navigation bar, keeping your conversation just one click away wherever you are on Spectrum. Oh, look at that! I'm not going to open that because you guys can see all the toe pics I get for UEC. We can't talk about that here. Spectrum on mobile, refreshed. Spectrum's mobile experience has also received a refresh with dedicated navigation bar that keeps key destinations within easy reach. Community pages and lobbies are now easier to browse with a cleaner experience that feels more consistent with the desktop. I wonder if there will ever be a mobile app or if they'll just stick to the website. It's like around 2014, 2015-ish when everyone decided they didn't want to work on mobile apps anymore, so they would just like make their mobile website a little bit better. I would love... Here's the ideal freaking situation. And you know what you could do is we could go back to I want to say CitizenCon like 2014, where they gave a big presentation on this whole system. That's unfortunate. Well, I'm not going to keep looking for it. You can go all the way back. Benoit was out on stage introducing people to Spectrum because actually Turbulent was here at that time. They weren't owned by CIG, but they were still working on the game. And they actually have built a lot of this. They did a lot of the assistance and the groundwork to get this running. And in their original vision for it, this was a service that straddled the website and the game. And I would absolutely love if you could go onto the web browser on your phone, type in a couple of messages, shoot them off to your friends in game. Maybe even, dude, imagine if you could like schedule your stuff to be delivered from out of game through Spectrum. You send a command and it says, okay, your ship is being shipped from ArcCorp to Microtech. It'll be sitting at New Babbage by the time you log on in 30 minutes. Or imagine if you could like join into a party with your friends in voice chat who are already in the game talking with everyone else. In fact, you don't even have to ever get into the game. Maybe you're the person who's just running the mission behind the scenes and has the spreadsheets. You could just be in Spectrum on voice, looking at their streams or whatever. This could be like a nice replacement for Discord that works in-game diegetically with the rest of the game. It lets people, NPCs in the game, hear you for stealth reasons. It lets you transmit to people's MFDs. But it's still just this app sitting on the website, sitting on the internet, not really integrating with the game. And as nice as it is to have it get updated, I think that's the most disappointing part. Well, that and the fact that there's still no downvote button. But they do say this is just the beginning. Phase 1 lays the foundation. Throughout 2026, we'll continue rolling out the redesign across Spectrum, with threads and messages coming next. Threads. This is about more than a new look. Each phase will introduce meaningful quality of life improvements, including better markdown support, richer formatting options, and more ways to bring structure and personality to your posts. We want Spectrum to be a place you enjoy contributing to, not just catching up on. We want to hear from you too. Before we finalize the quality of life improvements coming to threads and messages, we want to hear what would make the biggest difference to your experience on Spectrum. Share your ideas in the comments below, whether it's better formatting tools, improved markdown support, new messaging features, or something else entirely. We're reading. While we can't make any promises, your feedback will help shape what we prioritize next. I'm not gonna lie, I think most people keep their distance from Spectrum because it's just toxic. Unfortunately, Star Citizen has a bit of a toxicity problem in the way people talk about the game, both in and outside of the community. It's hyperbolic, it becomes personal, it's filled with freaking ad hominems and people just like assuming your point before you've made it, and it's not fun to debate with. There's no downvote button, so a lot of times even if something is not a quality post, if a lot of people like it, it'll still reach the top. And yeah, that's great for a democratic platform or whatever, but I think most people want to also see quality. And it's easy enough to brigade something to the top, even if it's a bad post. Yeah, and it being in-game would be huge. That'd make a big difference. And I know a lot of people, probably people who are watching, are probably like, shut up, you're soft. You don't actually hurt people. You just can't remember what. You don't hurt people. Your thoughts of hurting people are hurting you. I don't remember what it was, but a lot of people don't really care about other people that much, and it just bothers me. I think like we're all just going through a life it's neither here nor there, and the world is only as good as we are to each other. And it just kind of sucks that like even when you bring a bunch of space nerds together to talk about a space game, eventually it can devolve into freaking attacks and stuff. And I hope that they can figure out Spectrum, because I think having your own system like this inside of your game, if your game does succeed, is powerful. It's just a little vitriolic at times. But yeah, Spectrum update. Somebody, Sunaris, thank you for your input, said, please add the ability to navigate to parent comment when opening a direct link to a Spectrum comment. Dude, oh shoot. That actually, he's so right. He's so right. I'm so glad he said that. He constantly opens linked messages that contain a direct response to something, and it's very frustrating right now to trying. Yeah, dude, I'll show you this right now. It's really, really easy to see this in action. If you go to the dev tracker and you find a dev that made a cool comment and you're like, oh, okay, awesome. They're interacting with the community. This is great. This is why the whole thing exists. Wowzers. I want to see where this is coming from. And then you click in, let's see. I gotta actually find one that I know is not the beginning of a thread. If you see one of these messages and you want to see what it's replying to and you click into it, you cannot see who it's replying to. And there's not really any way to do so. There's no way to expand it without seeing the rest of the replies, which brings up everything, and then you have to scroll down and see if you can find it. That can be problematic because sometimes the replies get collapsed. So yeah, I agree. That's a big one. Overall, plenty of things that can be done to help with Spectrum, but I think the main thing that needs to be done is making sure it's just more inviting for people to come and talk on.